Uber case study, myths and realities about entrepreneurship. Okay, so definitions of entrepreneurship provided by scholars are shallow, contributing to speculations and myths about the topic. This topic is vital because it helps to explain why some views about entrepreneurship are myths. Exploring the topic of myths and realities of entrepreneurship also prepares entrepreneurs psychologically by informing them about what to expect. However, some opinions will remain controversial since it is difficult to establish whether they are facts or myths. Standard definitions of entrepreneurship focus on people's initiatives to start businesses to make profits. These definitions omit crucial aspects that would make the subject clearer if included. The shallow descriptions have led to the emergence of myths that appear as truths. Most people have relied on them, making them fail in their ventures. Analyzing the myths associated with entrepreneurship is crucial to establish why they are false. Discussing the reality of entrepreneurship is also fundamental to helping current and future investors to understand what to expect after opening businesses. However, some opinions remain debatable on whether they are realities or myths. Whether an idea is a myth or a reality also varies across individual entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs would be more successful if they differentiated myths from facts and laid out justifiable reasons why they choose to believe in some myths despite being considered false. Myths about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are high risk takers. This claim is false because entrepreneurs only invest after making calculated moves and are guaranteed positive outcomes. Anyone can start a business. Not anyone can start a business based on the fact that many abandon their ventures to join established organizations. Entrepreneurs are their bosses and are completely independent. Entrepreneurs depend on customers, employees, and investors. Neither are they independent or their bosses. Entrepreneurs give a little attention to their personal life. Even though entrepreneurship is demanding, entrepreneurs still find time to attend to personal issues. Entrepreneurs are loners and introverts. Entrepreneurs partner with different stakeholders to actualize their visions. They are not loners and introverts. Entrepreneurs are usually ruthless and deceptive. These aspects do not describe entrepreneurs. They must maintain integrity to succeed by not deceiving investors or customers. Investors and entrepreneurs must debunk myths about entrepreneurship to succeed in this field. Rarely do entrepreneurs act until they have assessed all the risk associated with their ventures and are sure the outcome will favor them. Even though Travis started different undertakings from the Uber case study, he was confident about the results. For example, he was sure that the 33 litigants that had sued him would turn into customers when he started what he called the revenge business. Hence, he did not create a business through mere gambling or risk-taking, but assessed the situation and knew it would turn in his favor. Travis, in the Uber case study, reveals that all engineers left him except one, indicating not everyone can endure the hardships of startups. The fact that even his co-founder left him for an established company shows that not anyone can start a business. About the debunked myth that the entrepreneurs are ruthless. The truth is that deceptive and cruel entrepreneurs will hardly attract human resources and capital. They spend most time repairing broken relationships with employees, investors, and customers. Travis in the Uber case study was not deceptive or ruthless. He made sure that he paid his engineers by sourcing out funds. Yet, he paid himself not a dime, because of the business was performing poorly. These are myths associated with entrepreneurship that people esteem highly despite being false beliefs. People must comprehend the reality of entrepreneurship to succeed in their ventures.
Hi, this is Suleiman Al-Shehi from Managers Group, and our case study is about Uber. The Uber case study illustrates some fundamentals of entrepreneurship that applies to all businesses. Business entrepreneurs experience a great deal of stress, which is a truth. Entrepreneurs must mobilize human and financial resources in addition to complying with law in order to thrive in the face of intense competition from other enterprises. In the Uber case study, Travis experienced significant stress due to 33 litigants suing him, the sale of some of his enterprises, and challenging investor discussions. However, Travis was under significant pressure from the founders and workers who did not fully support his business. Due to the company's poor performance, he was forced to seek alternative funding sources in order to pay the engineers despite having no income. Thus, the case study demonstrates that the business leaders must be prepared for a variety of difficult circumstances. The Uber case study demonstrates that the entrepreneurs frequently make mistakes and must be willing to learn from them. For instance, Travis cites an investor who requested that he sign a contract in order to finance his company entirely. This investor was astute because he planned for the company to fail so that he could control it by supplying the only financing. Travis avoided closing the door on other willing investors by reaching an agreement with one, while being in a weak negotiation position in order to prevent future incidences. The case study also highlights the value of persistence in business. Sometimes it takes years of operation for a company to start making money. While the business was struggling, Travis had to put forth a lot of effort with no payoff. The difficulties involved in launching a new firm are highlighted in the case study. However, people still believe various illusions about business for many different reasons. Entrepreneurs, regardless of the success or failure of their first venture, must always be ready to try again. Despite encountering several obstacles along the way, they must keep going till they reach their goal globally.
Hello, my name is Saif Al-Gaidi, and today I'm going to talk about myths I believe. I continue to hold the beliefs that entrepreneurs are high-risk takers who pay little attention to their personal lives, even though these notions are often regarded as myths. I think it's fake to say that business owners have control over their time. I know from personal experience that business owners often put in much more than the typically 40 hours per week in order to take time off on the weekends. They must be mindful not to miss any opportunities even while they are just hanging out. Travis, for instance, described a helper who, despite the fact that he was prepared to help him, he could only be reached after 10 p.m. on 2 of the 7 days that he was available. In addition, Travis and the team continued to work and code even when they visited exotic islands and beaches for enjoyment. In addition, he worked without compensation for a considerable amount of time, while people beneath him were paid. I still hold the idea that business owners don't pay much attention to their personal lives. Similarly, even though it's a fallacy that business owners take a lot of risk, I continue to think that is the case. The instance of Travis demonstrates numerous risky endeavors while little assurance of success. For the instance, Travis outsourced money to pay salaries even if he had doubts about the project's success. He borrowed money to pay the engineers, but regrettably, they all still left. No business would fail if entrepreneurs only invested in calculated risks. I believe that these myths should thus be taken as fact. Anyway, business owners are risk takers who spend little time on their personal life. Nevertheless, perspectives regarding what constitutes entrepreneurship vary.
Hi everyone, my name is Bainal Zaabi and I'm going to continue with the conclusion. There are ongoing discussions on the myths and realities of entrepreneurship. Risks, in my opinion, are essential components of entrepreneurial process and should only be managed when necessary. My ability to invest in potentially profitable businesses would be hampered by an overemphasis on risks or the dread of suffering losses. In other words, I think taking risks is a necessary component of entrepreneurship and that people wouldn't start new businesses if they weren't prepared to do so. We also believe that being an entrepreneur requires making mistakes, reflecting on them, and avoiding repeating them. Nobody in business can assert to be an expert, although they have a basic understanding of investing and business management. There are many intricate details that are obscure. Hence, becoming an entrepreneur requires lifelong learning and perseverance in the face of setbacks. Instead, business owners need to learn from their errors and get better. Also, I think that being an entrepreneur is about assembling the necessary resources to put a concept into practice. Entrepreneurs must specifically possess interpersonal skills in order to mobilize human and financial resources and realize their ambitions. These findings are the result of my experiences as an entrepreneur and the course's curriculum. For instance, I put off starting a lot of projects out of concern that they wouldn't succeed. Like this, prior endeavors failed because I overly concentrated on the risks and neglected to recognize growth potential. My understanding of this subject has also improved as a result of the course. I was exposed to case studies in the course where business owners collaborated with others to realize their dreams. In addition, I learned important lessons from the Uber case study. One lesson is that even if people come up with business ideas, they need help from others to put them into action. Another lesson is that business owners should be prepared for a lot of stressful events. These circumstances include budgetary limits, lawsuits, and staff disloyalty. In addition, the case study taught me that failure of the business doesn't guarantee failure of subsequent ones. When looking for a fresh investment opportunity, entrepreneur must be opportunistic. For instance, Travis was successful in turning his former litigants into clients. As a result, this course has increased my understanding of entrepreneurship and will guide my future investment choices. Nonetheless, opinions on what constitutes a myth and what constitutes fact continue to differ.